Welcome to Howard's Opinion, the podcast where we dive into the latest and greatest in the world of sports. I'm your host, Howard, and I'm excited to share my thoughts and opinions with you today. We've got a great show lined up for you, so let's get started. First up, we're talking about the NFL and the Olympics. Yes, you heard that right. The Olympics. It seems that the NFL is considering allowing its players to participate in Olympic flag football, and I have to say, it's an interesting idea. On one hand, it's a great opportunity for the league to expand its global reach and showcase its talent on the world stage. But on the other hand, there are some serious concerns about player safety. I mean, let's be real. Football is a contact sport. And even though flag football is a non-contact version of the game, injuries can still happen. And when you're talking about the best players in the NFL, you've got to consider the risk of injury and how it could impact their team's chances of winning. According to reports, several high-profile players, including Justin Jefferson and Travis Hunter, are interested in participating in Olympic flag football. And while I think it's great that they're excited about the opportunity, I also understand why some coaches and GMs might be hesitant. I mean, can you imagine if one of your star players got hurt playing in the Olympics? It would be a nightmare scenario for any team. Now, I know some people might say that the risk is worth it, that the benefits of participating in the Olympics outweigh the potential risks. But I'm not so sure. I think the NFL needs to carefully consider this decision and make sure that they're doing what's best for the players and the teams. We'll be discussing this topic more in depth later in the show. But for now, let's just say that it's an interesting development in the world of sports. And speaking of interesting developments, we've also got some news about the MLB and a potential new rule change that could shake things up. But before we get to that, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more fascinating sports news on Howard's Opinion. Welcome back to Howard's Opinion. We're glad you're still with us as we dive into our middle segment, where we take a closer look at the world of sports. Today, we've got an interesting mix of stories for you, and I'm excited to share them with you. First off, let's talk about Angelo Leo, the current IBF featherweight champion, who's set to defend his title against Tomoki Kameda in Osaka, Japan. This fight is scheduled to take place on Saturday, and it's going to be streamed live on Probox TV at 1:30 a.m. Now I know what you're thinking. Howard, why should I care about a boxing match in Japan? Well, my friends, this fight has all the makings of a classic showdown between two talented fighters. Angelo Leo has been on a roll lately, with a string of impressive victories under his belt. But Tomoki Kameda is no pushover, and he's got the skills and experience to give Leo a run for his money. This one's going to be a battle for the ages, folks, and I'm predicting a real nail-biter. But that's not all. We've also got some updates from the world of MMA, with Rick Wright, our resident expert on all things fighting sports, weighing in on the latest development. And let me tell you, he's got some interesting insights to share. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, Howard, this is all well and good, but what about the local sports scene? Don't worry, folks, we've got that covered too. We'll be taking a closer look at some of the exciting stories coming out of our own backyard, from high school football to professional soccer. So, stay tuned for more on these stories and others as we continue to bring you the best in sports news and analysis. And don't forget to tune in next time when we'll have even more exciting topics to discuss. But for now, let's take a quick break before moving on to our final story of the day. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Howard's Opinion. Welcome back to Howard's Opinion. We're closing out today's episode with an exciting story from the world of sports. I know many of our listeners are basketball fans, so this one's for you. The NBA has announced its most valuable player for the 2024-25 season, and the winner is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the talented guard from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, who's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Well, let me tell you, this young man has been making waves in the basketball world with his impressive skills on the court. And it's not just his playing abilities that have earned him this prestigious award. It's also his leadership and dedication to his team. What's even more remarkable about Shai's story is that he's only the second Canadian player to win the NBA MVP award, after the legendary Steve Nash. And from what I've read, Shai is deeply humbled by this achievement and has given a heartfelt thank you to his family, coaches, and teammates for their support. But here's what really caught my attention. Shai's emotional acceptance speech, where he broke down in tears while thanking his wife, Haley Summers. It just goes to show that even the toughest athletes have a soft spot, and it's beautiful to see them express their gratitude and love for those who matter most. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm not a huge basketball fan myself, but stories like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's inspire me. They remind us that with hard work, perseverance, and a bit of luck, we can achieve greatness in our own fields. And who knows, maybe one day we'll see another talented athlete from an unexpected background rise to the top and capture our hearts. That's all for today's Howard's Opinion. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, these are some of my humble thoughts.